This is Louise for MMA Crazy, and I'm joined with one half of the main event for UFC Hamburg, Anthony Smith. How are you doing? How are you enjoying Germany so far?
I'm doing great. So far, Germany has been awesome. The only other place I fought outside the UFC, or outside the States, is Brazil, and so far this experience has been awesome. The fans are great, the food is great, the culture is cool, it's super laid back, everyone's just hanging out. This is actually the first place I've ever just sat outside of a coffee shop and just hung out. So it's cool.
And have you been to Europe before in general?
Yeah, once before, but not to fight.
So tell us how this came about. You're fighting Mauricio Shogun Rua in the main event on short notice. So how did this come about?
I was trying to get a fight in that UFC event in Lincoln, Nebraska, and so I was staying ready. I just gotten out of the Rashad fight, and I was headed to buy a new four-wheeler, and my manager called and said that the Shogun fight was available, and we were taking it, and that was it. So they sent the contract and started booking flights, and I took off to Denver.
So when did you arrive here?
I got here Wednesday. I left Nebraska on Tuesday morning, and I got to Germany Wednesday afternoon.
So what did you think about going to Germany? Did it give another kind of added level of excitement, or did you give any hesitation because of the travel involved?
No, there's never any hesitation for me when it comes to taking fights. I was really excited because obviously I've never been here before, so I love going new places and experiencing new cultures, and it's just new, and I just like new things. So I was really excited for that.
And Shogun, obviously, is a legend, former champion. What do you think about him? How would you assess his skills?
I think the Shogun's one of the most dangerous guys in the division. He's really, really smart. He's really crafty. He's obviously very powerful, and he's been in the game a long time. You don't stay in the game this long without being, extremely well-rounded and extremely dangerous. He's had a storied career. It's amazing that in 2018 Shogun Rua is on a 3-5 win streak. That's crazy. As long as I've been watching him, it just goes to show how tough he is and how durable that he really is.
And obviously you haven't had much time to prepare. What have you been able to do? Obviously this is a quick turnaround for you anyway, but what have you been able to do in that short time?
Just focus on myself, and I was already staying ready. I was already in shape. I just went through an 8-week training camp, and so I was already prepared to fight. Just had to tweak a couple things. You really got to just assess what Shogun's good at, where his holes are, things we can take advantage of, and just kind of attack those. I'm one of those guys that I adjust really quickly, so it doesn't really make a big difference to me.
And you're obviously coming off a KO win over Rashad Evans, who afterwards retired shortly after. But that was your debut at 205. So how did you feel at that weight class, and what difference has it made for you?
I've never felt so good moving like in a fight after other than the Rashad fight, and I think that has 100% to do with the move up to 205. I was just killing myself trying to get to 185. I mean, I'm sitting right here next to Corey Anderson, and we're the same size. It's crazy that it's even for me to think I made 185 for so long. So I think that I wasted a lot of years of my career cutting to 185. I think I could have been in a completely different spot had I done this earlier. Obviously, hindsight's 20/20, so it's easy to say that, now. But I'm just happy I'm here now, and I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying training. I'm enjoying the process now. Before I was dreading everything. I hated practice. I just hated everything. I hated everything. So I'm just much happier now, for sure.
And DC, obviously the light heavyweight champion, has expressed a desire to face Shogun. What's your opinion on that? And do you feel like you're maybe being overlooked in this fight?
My opinion on that is DC's looking for a big name fight for sure. A fight with anyone else right now other than Gustafsson's not necessarily a huge name fight. So I think he wants to defend, and he also wants to make a lot of money doing it. So. But I'm absolutely being overlooked for sure, and I'm okay with that. That it's kind of been happening to me my whole career, anyways. some of it by my own doing, some of it not, you know. So I don't know. I don't know how to change that, you know, other than going in and having good performances. You know, I think it puts me in a good position to ask for a big name fight. You know, if DC thinks that Shogun is the next in line and I beat Shogun, then that absolutely leaves me in a position to get a big fight.
So where would you think that would leave you in the division then, if you did get a win over Shogun?
Man, I don't know. That's hard to say. You know, it's really hard to say just because of the landscape is so crazy right now. Like the top 5 is being shuffled around, and some guys are hurt, and some guys are not going to fight other guys because they're friends, and you know, I don't know. I know that I think that there's going to be a changing of the guard here pretty soon. You know, I think I'm going to take out Shogun, and you got another young guy, Corey Anderson, fighting another legend in Glover. So I think this is a really exciting card. I think that people are kind of sleeping on the card a little bit. So to answer your question, I don't know where that leaves me. I really don't. I don't know.
And Shogun hasn't been very active within the last 3 years. So what do you think you can expect from him on Sunday, and how do you see the fight going down?
I think that with Shogun being inactive for so long, I think that it's an advantage to him in one way, just because he could have added new wrinkles to his game that no one's seen yet, so he could come out and show something new. I doubt that, but it's possible. But it also means that he's healthy and he's healed up and he's taking care of his body. You know, he's only fought once a year for the last 3 years, and he hasn't had to expose himself too much. You know, he hasn't had to you know, I don't know. He hasn't been taking the damage that I've been taking the last 4 fights either. So I think it's an advantage, but I also think it could be a disadvantage because he's got to get his feet under him a little bit before he can really get going. You know, he's been here a long time, so he definitely already knows how to fight. But you know, I think that there's pros to cons to that.
So how do you see yourself getting the job done on Sunday?
I think I finished Shogun. I really do. I think it'll be a devastating knockout. I think you get 2 guys like Shogun and I that are hyper aggressive strikers. I don't think it goes any other way. You know, I don't think that there's a chance in hell that this goes 5 rounds.